Hey, what up, guys? Coming to you tonight with the weekend recap from Saturday, January 11th. We had two main events on two separate cards. Those are the only fights to really speak of. So let's jump right into those and see what we got, what we had go on. We'll start with the ESPN card that saw light heavyweight action as former world title challengers collided, and Jesse Hart, who had fought for titles twice at 168 against Gilberto Ramirez and came up short. He took on Joe Smith, who had fought for the light heavyweight title just last year against Dimitri Bivol and came up short. Coming in, Jesse Hart was thought to be the favorite. They were fighting towards his hometown of Philadelphia. And, he had won his debut beating Sullivan Barrera last year in June, his debut at 175 when he moved up. So there was a lot of talks about him possibly facing Gilberto Ramirez for a third time for the vacant WBO title if he were to beat Joe Smith. So a lot riding on the line. Well, Joe Smith was coming in not fighting since his loss to Dimitri Bivol in March of last year, where he got dominated over 12 rounds. He did hurt Bivol in the late rounds, but he almost got stopped himself. And so there was a lot riding on this fight. It was a pretty evenly matched fight, and I picked Jesse Hart to win. And it's funny because I told you guys I'm going to start keeping track of my win and loss ratio. I didn't even get a streak going, as this was the first fight, and it ended with the guy that I didn't pick winning. So I thought that was pretty funny. But Joe Smith, he just used his power and his force, and Jesse Hart just couldn't handle it. He pushed Jesse Hart, pressed him, landed big shots, even hurt him and put him down. And Jesse Hart just couldn't figure it out. He couldn't keep Joe Smith off of him. He tried, but Joe Smith was just too overwhelmed him, was just too much, too strong. And but Jesse Hart showed a lot of heart and went to the scorecards where Joe Smith took a 10-round split decision. Surprisingly, one of the judges had Jesse Hart winning, and I don't know how that is, but that's what happened. And but Joe Smith, the rightful winner, a big win for him, his biggest since he knocked out Bernard Hopkins a few years ago, and now he's right back in the mix and back in the top 10 with that victory. So congratulations to Joe Smith, kicking off the year with a big time win. We'll discuss what's possibly next for him when we do the what's next on Sunday. But yeah, big win on ESPN for Joe Smith. Now in the main event of the DAZN card, we saw Jaime Munguia, undefeated former 154-pound champion, taking on Spike O'Sullivan. This was Munguia's debut fight at 160, and he was trying to solidify his number one ranking by the WBO at 160 pounds and prove why he belongs in the middleweight division, why he's better off there. He got a scare early, though. He was pouring it on Spike O'Sullivan, and at the end of the second or third round, he got caught with a very wicked right hand that almost put him down. It really hurt him. He went back to the corner breathing hard, and you could tell he really got stunned in that fight and by that punch. And after that, he kind of just started to box more and land a very sharp and good jab. And he broke down O'Sullivan and finally stopped him in the 11th round of a pretty good action fight, as I called it was going to be. So I got my first win on the board with that one. And now Munguia will push forward into the middleweight division, but a big-time win. But you got to hand it to Spike O'Sullivan. Showed a lot of heart and went in there like a game veteran and really put the test to the youngster. But Jaime Munguia proved that he's ready for 160 now. So we're going to see if how much better he gets and what he's going to do next. But we'll discuss that when we talk about our what's next on Sunday. But that was it for the action on Saturday, guys. We had Joe Smith with a very deserving 10-round decision over Jesse Hart in a mild upset. And then you had Jaime Munguia make his debut at 160, impressively getting an 11th round TKO victory over Spike O'Sullivan. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you check those fights out. They were good. All right. True Boxing. been hit with the truth.